Well, if anything, this film has confirmed my notion to never climb Mount Everest. I have zero desire to do that, and even less so desire after seeing this movie. Hello once again, watchers of Good Movies. My name is Nick Pell, and this is once again coming from my apartment. Now today we are going to be talking about the film Everest. This seems to be the weekend of biopics, which I wasn't really expecting, but I've reviewed 3 biopics in the last 24 hours, so it seems to be a trend. This film is about an event which happened on Mount Everest back in the mid-1990s, in which there was a giant storm and a lot of people climbing the mountain ended up dead because either they froze to death, they fell, or something along those lines. This is telling the story of those men and women who risked their lives, and some died, some didn't. And I really liked that the film kind of opens up with just like a general description of this event. It's like, or the events building up to it, because it kind of tells us the history of people climbing Mount Everest, and then it ends with like, generally, 1 out of 4 people die. And so we don't really know. We expect that people are going to die in this movie. We just don't know who, and I actually did kind of enjoy that. There are a slew of well-known actors in this film, but the film seems to focus most firmly on Jason Clarke's character. He is someone who is leading a group of people up Mount Everest, reach the summit, come back down. That's the goal, and that's the general attempt of this movie. He does a really nice job in the role. Jake Gyllenhaal does a nice job. Josh Brolin does a nice job. Sam Worthington, who I have not seen in forever on screen, he does a nice job. I hope he keeps doing films. Robin Wright and Keira Knightley, they're both in this film as well, kind of more minor roles. They play the wives of 2 of the men that are up on the mountain, and so we see them just at home dealing with what's happening on this mountain, just through their perspectives. They both did fine in the roles, I thought. Now, this film apparently isn't out in regular 2D cinemas yet, so I ended up seeing it in 3D. Generally, I avoid 3D films, but I had a free pass to see something in 3D and IMAX, so I was like, sure, why not? 3D actually works well. There was like just snow coming at you at times and just various things, and I don't know if it's necessarily required to watch this movie or if it's made for 3D, but for what it did, it worked fine, I thought. I wasn't really distracted by the fact that it was 3D at all, and it worked fine for how my experience was. I also like that it doesn't really necessarily focus on any one character. It focuses on what's going on with all these various characters at the same time, as they are in various spots just along this mountain and the various things which are going wrong with their situations. And I did enjoy that because it kind of allowed us to bounce around a little bit, and everyone's in generally the same situation, same death possible scenario, but we don't really know how people are going to react to it differently, and it's kind of neat to see that. There is a lot of build-up though, because I know generally what was going to happen. It's like, oh, some storm or some avalanche or something is going to happen, which is going to put everyone in mortal danger. There's a lot of build-up to that happening, and while it worked well, it set up everything nicely, got to introduce all the characters and everyone who we cared about. I did find myself kind of just tapping my foot in anticipation. It's like, come on, get to the juicy drama-filled bits, please. So it does do that. For about the first hour of the film, actually. So if you're waiting for the big hoo-ha, it's going to take a while. But most importantly, this film looks extremely realistic in both its depiction of Mount Everest. That's just the snowy landscape. We have the snowstorm that looks just really realistic. People being covered in ice and snow when they're just stranded on this mountain, and just the frostbite and skin just bleeding and because it cracked, and everything looks extremely realistic from my perspective. I'm not an expert on it, but it looked very, very accurate as far as I could tell, and I was really impressed with that. I think more than anything though, the thing that I did actually enjoy about this movie is not knowing ultimately who was going to survive and who was not going to survive. And by the time the end slate starts rolling, where it tells us like what people have done since the events of this film, and a little memorial for the people who died, I wasn't sure who was all getting out of there alive and not. And so as a biopic, this is something I always enjoy seeing. I feel like a broken record since I've said this 3 times in the last 24 hours. I always like it when biopics tell us what happened to all the survivors or people involved in the film after the events of said film. So this film does that very well. It honors the victims of this disaster and tells us generally what happened to them, and you get to see a little bit of closure in that regard, and I thought it worked really nicely. But yeah, Everest, when it comes out in a theater near you, which I'm sure it will, definitely go check it out. It's about 2 hours long. The build-up is a little bit long and takes some time to get to. But once it starts happening, it's a very fun ride. All the actors do a phenomenal job in their respective roles, and I really didn't have a whole lot of issues with this movie. So yeah, definitely check it out. This is definitely the weekend of biopics, so take your pick of any of the 3 or go see the young adult film if you want to be bored for 2 hours. But those are just my thoughts, guys. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Did you like Everest as much as I did? Did you hate it more than I did? Let me know. Like, fair, comment, and subscribe. Once again, if you so choose, I appreciate it immensely. And as always, remember, people, my name is Nick Pell. And once again, keep on watching.